morning. Good morning, America. Or whoever else is listening here from around the world. Appreciate you watching the channel. It's been fun doing these morning coffee talks and brain dumps. I'd love to know who you are. I know I asked this a couple months ago, but I'd love to know who you are and why you're following the channel. If you are in business yourself, if you're a student, if you're just listening to learn more about Origin or Jocko Fuel or Jiu-Jitsu, I'd love to know what your purpose is on this channel, because there seems to be a pretty dedicated group every morning that turns it on. And I'd love you to engage with the channel also and help us kind of streamline what we're doing here. And it's really just me and one other person. So questions are valuable to us. Topics to dig into, to discuss, to pontificate over. But I'm back in Maine. Got back last night and here for a couple days. And then I'm leaving for a few days to, where am I going? Florida. Stealing the wife and getting away for a few days. And we're truly in the thick of it. Our fall season with the brands. And it's 38 degrees out, which is a wonderful lead indicator to our seasonality kicking in. And I had a lot of time to think on the road because I drove to New York and then I drove back, and it was like I think I made it in just over 6 hours, so I was going a little fast. A little bit fast. I usually have my fuzz buster here, but I didn't have it. Passed a couple of cops. They didn't pull me over, which is good, because I did get dinged literally right in this spot I am right now driving. I got dinged for criminal speeding. Yes, I know that is not a good thing. Criminal speeding. The local judge let me off. He's like, she's like, I'm just going to downgrade it and let you go. I was like, I appreciate that. But I live life a little bit fast, and so when I'm in the vehicle, I probably drive a little bit too fast because I want to get to where I'm going, and I know that as you've watched this channel, you kind of see that. I hope you've seen that entrepreneurial mindset that is always turned on. It rarely ever gets turned off. Not that I wouldn't like it to get turned off. I would love for my mind to be just mush, and the only time it's able to do that is when I'm on the jiu-jitsu mats. When I'm focused on jiu-jitsu, I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just enjoying the stress under chest, like that moment. There's nothing else that I can do as an entrepreneur in life with ADHD, neurodivergent, to shut off, except for jiu-jitsu. It's the only thing. Even in sleep, it doesn't happen. And so there's also a call out to like, hey, you should try jiu-jitsu too if you haven't tried it, especially if you're wanting to find upward trajectory in life. Jiu-jitsu is such a great way to do that, and it's no time is too late to start. My father-in-law Joe started at 53. He got his black belt at 63, and he won the world championships. And he's almost 70. He'll be 70 in next month, in January maybe. So it's never too late to start. Today's our square meeting, so we're gonna check that out. I might take you in there. The octopus meeting, and see what's happening. Let's see what headwinds we're facing when it comes to kind of the market. And my last vlog, I talked about the market and how, if you want to know how things are going, like watch the market. And I'm not just talking about the stock market. I'm talking about the market we live in, which is direct to consumer. I'm talking about the consumerism holistically, and in footwear apparel, because there's some new data out showing some headwinds. So I'm not the type that when I see headwinds, I think, oh gosh, this is terrible. When I see headwinds, my knee-jerk reaction is like, where is the blue ocean strategy within these headwinds, and how can Origin effectively attack the negative space? And let me simplify that. If everyone is experiencing the same thing, how are we going to respond to the situation in a unique, dynamic way that only we can own to win? Blue ocean strategy is like, what can we do that no one else can do? What can we say that no one else can say? And how can we engage the way no one else can engage, to hold attention and bring people into our movement? And so I'm sure that data is going to get presented today, because it got emailed to me and I haven't read through it yet. But I did get an email with kind of this footwear and apparel outlook, and I want to make sure I guide the team's behavior. That's part of the job as a CEO. If you are a CEO, or if you're building something, if you're a founder, if you have one employee, and listen, I was you if you are. I remember when it was just me, and then I hired my first employee, and we were working in the basement of my house, and I had this idea for wanting to manufacture, jiu-jitsu stuff. And there was 2 sewing machines that I bought from this old timer who were sitting in the basement next to us, and I just put those machines there, and we were still importing from Pakistan, but those machines were there. They were visible. I could touch them, and having them in my presence was a way to make sure that even this idea that I didn't know how to realize at the time, that at least I was taking a step towards the unknown, and those sewing machines were the unknown. And this is before the factory, this is before the loom, this is before knowledge, it was before everything. They were just objects, objects of desire, objects of motivation, objects of inspiration, objects that had once been used to build the footwear and apparel for America's World War II warfighters, because that's when they were made and used. And so I just set them there in the basement. And my house at the time was pretty small. It was this little 24 by 34 timber frame, and the office in the basement was, I don't even know if it was finished at the time, but it was just like 2 desks and this tiny little space, and we had this kind of little fireplace with some brickwork. We set the fireplace on, and that's how we stayed warm down in the basement, because there was no heat down there, and we worked, and there was 2 sewing machines sitting there, and we worked. And the company was tiny. It was making $100,000 a year or something. And this was only 2011, 2010, 2011. And by 2012, we were starting to build this factory. And then 2013, we told the world we built a factory, and we showed the machines, and this was the blue ocean strategy, because the red ocean was, there's a million footwear and apparel brands. There's so many brands, and we are nobody. We're nobody. Nobody gives a shit what we're doing up in the woods of Maine with 2 abandoned sewing machines. Nobody cares. what we're doing. And so you have to make them care. And to make them care, you have to find the negative space. Just like jiu-jitsu, you don't attack the positive space, you attack the negative space. And so you have to make them care. And at first you have to care yourself. You have to care yourself so deeply, you feel it in your bones, you feel it in your soul. It's like why you're put on earth. That's how much you have to care. And that's the difference between purpose and ideas. And I talk about how the power of purpose is a stronger pulling force. It's gravity than the pushing power of ideas. Ideas you have to push along. Purpose, it pulls you like gravity. It tethers you to everything around you and to the earth. It's a tether to the unknown is what it is. And it continuously pulls you into the unknown, and sometimes you don't know where you are, and sometimes you don't know how you're going to get out, and that is the job, and that is beautiful, and I love it, and it consumes me. And so when I face these things that our team hasn't faced, let's say it's headwinds in our busiest season because consumer purchase intent is down, because e-commerce, DTC, footwear and apparel is down, they didn't have the same experience as I had. They didn't go through that, so they don't have the emotional calluses. And so it's my job to lead them to the promised land. I have the tether to it, and I need to clip each one of you onto this thing, all right? And we need to let that gravity take us into the unknown, and we need to find the angles, change our levels, look for where our balance is off, where to apply pressure, where to escape, and we need to win. And that's the blue ocean strategy, and that's the power of positive thinking, and that's the power of purpose, and that's everything it needs to be, and not allowing yourself to get pulled into the depths of despair when something goes wrong and the world is falling apart. I fucking hate this mindset. I will not allow it to be around myself. I don't care about politics. I don't give a shit if there's headwinds in politics. I don't care. You know, like, the world is going to do what the world does. It always has, and it always will. A brand, a movement, lives outside of everything else. It doesn't serve the news cycle. It serves the soul. It has to do something more for the individual than just provide them with something comfortable to wear. And that is the unique selling proposition, the USP of Origin, and will continue to be. And we have to constantly remind our customer, our peer, really, of that, of you, folks like you listening. So anyways, we're going to talk about headwinds this morning. I probably won't even bring you in because it's already 13 minutes into this thing. But again, I want to just reiterate, like, please share who you are, what you're doing. Ask me any questions you want. I'm an open book. Some people don't like that. Some people don't like that I am so transparent. I am with you who I am behind closed doors. I don't change my, who I am. So you can ask me anything you want, and I will do my best to answer it. If I'm not contractually obligated to keep my mouth shut, or I think it's going to hurt somebody or something, because my intent here is to share knowledge and experience and of 25 years of being in business, and 25 years of eating what I kill, and 25 years of never working for anyone else except for myself, and trying to find upward trajectory and self-actualize. And so I'm an open book, and I have to be, because I want to help and share all that. So I'm gonna go grab a cappuccino here, get a little caffeine into the system. It's been a long few days. I slept 10 hours last night. It was phenomenal. I only turned 5 times the whole night. Needed that that hitter reset. So back in the saddle here in lovely Maine. And again, comment, post, subscribe, like, turn on notifications too. There's like a little bell, so like when a new video goes up, it'll let you know that there's a new video up. Even though I try to do one every morning and it's easy enough to check, nothing like a little reminder. Appreciate you.